Hey everybody, this is Sean B. Bradley, and I want to just kind of give a recap to the conversation with Andy Moore Chevrolet. Jason, this is the response. Okay, if you look over here, I'm looking at your digital marketing spend. The only thing that I see that's really good on here is the fact that you're only spending $16 per lead with AutoUSA. Great move. A lot of things here I think are absolutely ludicrous. Spending $9,000 a month on AutoTrader, I think you're getting cracked and pillaged, especially when you only have, you know, 1 new car lead and 14 used car leads. Not cost effective. I highly recommend that you drop down to the cheapest, lowest package with them. When I talked to you, you thought that was $4,700. I've heard of $2,000 or $3,000 packages. I understand that you're Chevy. If you could, I would feel very, very comfortable if you're able to drop down, you know, $5,000, cut 5 G's out of that budget. So I would go from $9,000 to $4,000. If not, I would highly recommend thinking about just canceling the whole thing. It just does not pencil out. You know, that's the first thing. Second thing, cars.com. Again, $5,000 for what? 4 new car leads and 26 used car leads? That again is absurd. I would drop down. Used cars are inventory-based opportunities. I think that's great. What you want to be able to do is you want to make sure that you have the best possible lead for the cheapest possible cost. And right now, with your AutoTrader and Cars.com, that's not happening at all right now. Going down, you're spending $6,000 a month on a TK website and $3,000 a month on your Cobalt website. We already discussed the TK situation and the Cobalt situation, but either way, both of those sites are not yielding a lot of leads. So what I would do is I would pick one of these sites. If you are married to TK car sites, you know, for 3 years, we need to make it work. We need to talk to Richard Valenta and TK car sites and see how we can get the tool to do what you need to do. Because you're spending a lot of money in 2 different directions. You should have one main site and put all dollars to brand that one site, not splitting up marketing cost. So what I recommend as soon as possible is drop down one of those sites to the lowest package possible. You know, I don't know if that's going to be Cobalt, you know, or if that's TK car sites. I don't even know if TK car sites will allow you to drop down. Maybe, you know, it's Cobalt that you want to drop down, but you shouldn't have 2 main websites. I think it's a waste of money. But even if you had 2 main websites, I thought it was absolutely crazy that you're spending another $6,000 to an outside SEO company. So for what you're telling me is you're using, you know, one of those outside companies you have here for $6,000 plus, you know, you have $6,000 to TK car sites. So you're spending $12,000 there, you know, to generate 12 new car leads and 13 used car leads. Then you also have $4.99 for chat service. And then you also have $2.50 for AutoHook. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, like we joked on the call about this being shiny objects, but here's the reality. You're spending already $12,000 for TK car sites, SEO for that site, and then 6 G's, you know, on top of that to push, you know, additional traffic. And then with that traffic, you're spending another $500 to try to, you know, get them to chat with you, and then you spend another $250 on AutoHook. You're spending way too much money for one type of lead that's not even converting, okay? So I highly recommend temporarily that you cut chat out. You got to realize that there's a science of communication. People could argue for or against it. I'm not the biggest fan of chat, but I am damn sure not a fan of chat when you're pissing money out the door like this. Let's get your core business and get your lead volume up, and then we can worry about secondary or tier 3 opportunities, you know, for additional, you know, inertia. Now, here's the thing that I thought was really crazy. If you take a look at this, come closer. You know, we're going to go to Google, and you know, this is the issue that I had right here. If you go to Google and you type in Chevy Indianapolis, okay, I'm doing this as we speak right now, this is live. Chevy Indianapolis, you do not show up in the pay-per-click right here. So you're spending pay-per-click on Cobalt, you're spending pay-per-click on, you know, I think TK car sites, and you're spending pay-per-click on whoever else, you know, the Pasture, whoever it else is that you mentioned. Now, if you look over here, Andy Moore shows up for Google Plus reviews. You know, online reputation management and automotive Zima is extremely important, but yet you only have 3 Google reviews. I mean, you're competing against major players. You know, you've got Penske's and Bill Estes, and you've got, you know, Hare Chevrolet, but yet you know, look, these people are not doing great, but they've got 11 and they got 19, you know, reviews here, but yet you only have 3 reviews and your ranking doesn't even show up. So the money that you should have been investing should have been on your online reputation management. It should have been on something better. So let's go through this. On a major search for Chevy Indianapolis, you don't show up in the prime spots for your pay-per-click. You have very weak leads, and then you show up for Andy Moore all the way down here at the bottom of the page. This is what's called bottom fold. Look at that. So you don't even show up on the top fold of the screen. I've got to scroll down to find you. Look at that right there, which is ludicrous. Now, okay, well, what happens if it's, you know, Chevrolet? Maybe, you know, oh, Sean's only looking for Chevy. Same thing for Chevrolet. Go and zoom in. When you go to Chevrolet, where the heck are you? You know, you're there, 3 reviews, and you're all the way at the bottom of the barrel right here. Okay, again, bottom fold, because a top fold, you're not even there. I have to go bottom fold. But now, what about this? If you do Chevrolet, you said the #1 selling vehicle you have is a Silverado. Really? Okay. So Chevy Silverado, you do not show up at all in your pay-per-click. You do not show up at all, even organically. Guys, look at this. This is ludicrous. For you spending $6,000 for one website company, $3,000 for another website company, $6,000 on a search engine digital marketing company, you know, all this other stuff, but for your #1 selling product, you know, a Chevy Silverado in Indianapolis, you are invisible on page 1 of Google. Right? I'm not even going to go past the first page because Google says only 0.5% of people go past the first page. So if you're not on the first page of Google, then you're freaking invisible. Bottom line. So now let's just look at this here. What's the #1 selling vehicle on the planet? The #1 selling vehicle on the planet is a Ford F-150. Okay, so again, and the Ford F-150 is a #1 competitor of the Chevy Silverado. So you should show up on the menu, Ford F-150. Okay, so look at that. When you type in Ford F-150 Indianapolis, you know, I'm going to use just like this together, Ford F-150. You guys are obviously nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And I'll even do it this way. I'll do Ford F space 150. Andy Moore Ford is. And I understand you got a Ford dealership, but you know what I mean? Like, where's the Chevy dealership? You're nowhere to be found. Now let's just turn around and look at Honda. You know, you said when I talked to you, Jason, today that Honda is in the top 3 in your area. Okay, so I understand you have Ford, so if you don't want to go after Ford, I totally respect that. But where are you when somebody's, you know, looking for a Honda? Okay, you're nowhere in pay-per-click. So all this money you're doing for pay-per-click, I don't see where you're at for Honda in Indianapolis, and you're nowhere in the organic as well. Okay, so back on here. Again, I mean, no stress to anybody, but listen, the internet should be the most cost-effective department on the planet. You should have an average cost per sale less than $200 per car in advertising. You told me that you're spending $32,700. $32,700 for 350 leads. It makes no sense. And I wouldn't accept it, but I'd be like, oh, okay, but you know, you're not getting the lead volume, but you're paying all that money. You're nowhere to be found on all those searches, and this is a cell phone. This is